Hey all, it is Mickey and I am here with another episode of Birding and Nerding, and I am going along the String Lake Loop and then heading up a little bit into Paintbrush Canyon. Depending on how high up I can get, it's still early in the spring, so there not only could be snow but also some downed trees that the rangers just haven't gotten to yet. But so far, nothing terribly notable. Some yellow-rumped warblers that I haven't seen yet. Robins, dark-eyed juncos, chipping sparrows, ruby-crowned kinglets. That's been the bulk of it. So I am gonna head out along the lake and then head out to the canyon, and yeah, we're gonna see what we find. So let's go. So what I just showed you right there was the runoff from Lee Lake spilling into String Lake. And I am now on the west side of String Lake where... Is that a ruby-crowned kinglet fly right in front of me? Really should have had my camera ready. Up in the trees now. Okay, but that was really pretty. Where was I? Oh, I'm on the west side of the lake. So it's a lot denser forested. We're going to be a little bit farther away from water. So I'm going to expect to see a few different birds. Didn't see a whole lot different back there that was at least willing to pose for me. So a lot more of what I already mentioned. And a lot more here to start with. But I think as we hit the ascend farther back, I should say ascend, and head into the canyon, we should get some more variety in some of the bird life. So we will see what is back here. Okay, so not a bird, but a yellow-bellied marmot is all over the Teton Mountains and this whole really ecosystem. And they love boulders, they love rocks. That one back there is just sunning. I was actually just gonna get some video, but he wasn't really doing a whole lot, so video didn't really serve any kind of purpose. So that's why I got the still shot. So, but you will find marmots all the way up to tree line of the mountains, and sometimes even a little bit higher. So they do a lot of foraging for the grasses and a lot of other things like the pika do. But yeah, they are always fun to see, and they have incredibly loud chirps. You will hear them way down the trail, and I think those were dark-eyed juncos. Hello. Chipping sparrows. Let's see if I can get some video of this one. Okay, so a little bit of nice video of that chipping sparrow up in a tree. Of course, right after I stopped, he flew down, but oh well, that's sometimes how it goes. But yeah, I'm gonna start heading back into the canyon. I'm hopeful that there's a rarity back here somewhere because we had a big storm last night. Some fierce winds came through. So I'm hoping, for at least my sake, that somebody got blown off course. I always hope that they find their way back and that they are safe and find a good home. But I just want to see them before they go. That's all. So yeah, I'm going to be on the lookout for anything else that's not totally ordinary back here. And yeah, just see what else is back here, because it's my first time back here this season, so it's always nice to see. Okay, so as you saw, I am heading up into Paintbrush Canyon. There is one final ascent before you reach the mouth, and if you have not gotten your hiking legs yet for the season, like me, it can be a little challenging. Once I'm a little more acclimated later in the season, it'll get a little easier. But especially if you come from sea level, it can be a little rough. But yeah, it's this last final ascent, then it smooths out for a couple of miles. It's pretty easy, and then as you emerge from the forest, once you're properly in the canyon and you start making your way up to Holly Lake, that's when it gets A, beautiful, but B, more challenging. So I don't know where the snow is. As you saw, just went through some snow, so could get turned around. I don't really like hiking through a ton of snow. It just kind of takes the fun out of it. So probably won't go too far if that happens. But yeah, we're just gonna see how far we can get. Well, so far it has been pretty quiet. Nothing terribly unusual. A lot of the familiar birds, and just saw some black bear prints in some snow right back there, so that was kind of fun. Looked like they were made yesterday based on the detail that was still available. I am heading farther into the canyon, and the rangers obviously have not been back here because I've had a number of down trees that were not much of a problem to get over. The snow also has been packed down, so it hasn't been problematic yet. Occasionally you get something like this, and it's going to be a little bit more challenging, but not enough to deter me yet. At a certain point, if there's a whole bunch of this and it just doesn't seem as fun to keep hopping logs, then I may wind up turning back. But right now, it's not terrible. And since this canyon, the trail does lie more on the north side, there's likely to be a little bit more snow. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going, hope something else comes out, and we'll just see. So why did I just show y'all a big pile of poop? Well, that was fresh bear scat. That actually looked like it was from this morning, maybe last night. So definitely going to be a little bit more on alert. So yeah, I mean, I typically do see black bears back here when I'm hiking. It's not uncommon. I do have bear spray, so in case of any unfortunate encounters, I am prepared. But typically black bears are not going to bother you. They sort of have the mindset, just respect my boundaries and I'll respect yours, and that is what I always offer them. And I'm hopping more logs, trying to maintain my balance. But yeah, I'm just going to keep going and see if we get anywhere interesting or find some kind of early migrant back here. One thing you'll see a lot of in these older forests are spruces and firs making their way in. Lodgepole pines are typically the first ones because there's a lot of young soil here, especially in Yellowstone. 80% of the trees in Yellowstone are lodgepole pine. But as the soil gets a little better, more nutrient rich for other plants, you will find a lot of firs and spruces coming in. And this one right here is a fir, and you can tell because if you put your fingers on the little needles, they are actually flat, whereas a spruce are going to be more square, so you will feel them kind of rolling around. And there are definitely spruces back here. I'm not seeing any right now unless I'm just mistaking them. It's hard to tell from a distance. I like the touch test to see which one's which, but that is how you know. Lodgepole pines especially are going to have longer pine needles than spruces or firs, so that's an easy way to tell. And yeah, that's just one of the fun things about the forest. As they get older, they're going to get denser like this. So this is a very old forest. There's not been a fire through here in a very long time. And you will get those firs and spruces moving in. Here are more black bear tracks. This would be a front paw because you can see it's so much smaller than a hind paw. A hind paw would go back a lot more. But you can tell it's a black bear because here are the toes and then the claws go right in there. So there's very little separation between the toes and the claws, and that's how you tell the difference between a black bear and a grizzly bear. And so those are also going to be fresh because it has been very warm. So if they had been made a while ago, they would have melted. But these are pretty fresh and they look like they have good detail. So they were probably made last night, yesterday evening, something like that. So obviously there has been a lot of bear activity back here, which, like I said, not uncommon. That would be a lot of fun if we do get to see one safely, of course. But yeah, not really sure what we're going to find back here. The snow has been increasing. So this is kind of turning into more nerding than birding. But we'll just keep heading back and see what's back here. I do hear the creek. I do hear Paintbrush Creek, which means there's a really nice overlook coming up of the creek. And then just beyond that is the lower Paintbrush camping zone. And that climbs up a little bit, which we might find some more snow there. And then once you're beyond the camping zone, it does open up quite a bit to some really nice views. And given that we haven't had a lot of diversity in the birds here, I would expect to see a few different birds there. So hopefully we can make it, but there are increasing obstacles, so we will see. I think here's where I'm calling it. I'm kind of getting tired of trudging through the snow, and there's definitely been a lot of it. On top of that, I'm also a little worried that as it gets warmer, the snow is not going to be as supportive. It probably froze here last night, which created a lot of ice, froze the snow, so it'd be easier to walk over. So kind of don't want to deal with thawing snow, even though it is packed down. So I might just call it here. Yeah, it's a nice view, but yeah, not a ton of birds back here yet. It's still really early in the season, and obviously I couldn't get to the part of the canyon I wanted to get to, so I'll come back. But yeah, more nerding than birding, and we still got to go out, so there's plenty of opportunities to see something else. But from here, I just don't feel like dealing with that anymore. So I'm gonna start heading out, and hopefully somebody fun comes out on the way back. Okay, so did just find that hairy woodpecker, which was a nice little something different. And there was also a Clark's nutcracker that I followed off trail to find that hairy woodpecker. And the nutcracker was making like a whistle call that I had never heard it make before. So I was very intrigued and trying to stalk it, but it was, of course, way up in the trees, so I had a hard time keeping up with it. So, but yeah, it's still nice to see something, even a couple of things, a little different out. I am going to stop recording so I can get over this down tree. But it does seem like as it's gotten warmer, some more things have come out, like the woodpecker and the nutcracker. I've also seen, or at least heard, a lot more mountain chickadees. Saw a couple of dark-eyed juncos. So there are a few more things coming out. It's definitely getting warmer, much nicer. So who knows? Maybe there'll be something else coming out. So two things not working in my favor for this hike are just that I've been in this old forest for a really long time, so seeing a lot of the typical players, but then also there's so much snow that I've had to get around that I've had to like keep my head down and watch the trail more than watch my surroundings, which means I'm missing the birds that aren't calling, which there could be a significant number of. Not a ton, but something to make a difference. So that has been a little bit of an encumbrance. But like I said, it's still so early. I'm going to be doing a lot of these. We're going to be getting a lot of elevation gain. We're going to see a lot of different diversity as the season goes on. So yeah, just getting started here for the season. So yeah, we'll see if anything else comes out on the way back though. So that was really nice of that yellow-rumped warbler. Not only did it fly from being backlit from a harsh sun into a more evenly lit sunlight, but it just jumped around that little tree right in front of me, which was awesome. So really glad I got that. That was a beautiful little yellow-rumped warbler, and there were also a couple more mountain chickadees, but I couldn't get a good fix on any of them. So we're going to keep heading out and see what else decides to come out along the way. That is something else I do a lot, is I will just like stop. So when I was stopped for that yellow-rumped warbler, I actually heard the mountain chickadees behind me just barely pecking at the tree. They're not as loud as a woodpecker, so you don't hear them as much pecking at the tree like they do. But when you stop and you just listen, you don't have the noise of your footsteps, which makes a surprising amount of noise when you're trying to listen to birds, as well as any other atmospheric disturbances, like if there's road noise nearby or if there's just a heavy breeze or something. Stopping can help your ears tune in to a lot of the more subtle noises. So that is something that's very helpful, especially for tree-dwelling birds. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but I am hearing my first hermit thrush of the season way back there, which is awesome. I love the hermit thrushes, the Swainson's thrushes, the calls they do in the forest, the way they echo through the forest. It is such a pretty sound. I'm so glad to hear them again for the season. Sounds like there's two of them back there. There's one. And there's another. Don't know if y'all can hear that. I'll try to turn up the volume, and hopefully you can, but either way, really cool to check it, really cool to hear. Obviously way too far away to get a picture or any video, but still, it's always fun to hear birds too. Also, if you're wondering how to tell the difference between a Swainson's thrush and a hermit thrush is typically like 2 notes, and they will not necessarily go up or down in any sort of pattern. I mean, they will go up or down, but there's not like a consistent pattern to whether they go up or down that I know of. Whereas a Swainson's thrush is going to have like a sort of upward waterfall, like, and you'll hear it like echo through the forest, and it's really pretty. But yeah, these are hermit thrushes because I'm hearing 2 notes that are going both up and down from the original note. So yeah, Swainson's thrushes shouldn't be far behind. They usually get here more or less the same time. Hermits maybe a little bit earlier, but yeah, everything's starting to come in. So yeah, it's always nice to hear more birds. So I am almost back to the trailhead, so I am going to pretty much wrap it up now. Awesome day out. Thank y'all for joining me, and like and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them down below. And if you want to support me, thank you so much for even considering it. I have links down in the description to do that, and yeah, it means the world to me, so thank y'all so much, and I will catch y'all next time. Have a wonderful day.